Hello everyone and welcome back to Covetous Imp Gaming. Today I want to talk about bumping your big bad evil guy encounters to the maximum to make those encounters memorable for your players. Before we get started with that, if you like this video, please hit the like button, leave me a comment below about the thing that you liked the most about this video, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you're alerted to our future content, and check us out on Facebook and Patreon. Those links are down below. So the first one I want to talk about is the Mythic Encounters rule from the Mythic Odysseys of Theros book. This one you want to keep in your back pocket because if your first phase of your encounter ends up really taxing your party, they're not hitting or they're not getting crits, or you don't have that paladin that's just dumping damage in and a rogue that's just dumping damage in, and nobody gets that lucky crit. Phase one might be all you really need, and the party is beat up enough that they've had enough and the boss should just die. However, in those times that your party just annihilates your boss, that's when you can pull out a Mythic Encounter. So when the boss reaches 0 hit points, they go back to full hit points. They gain an ability, they potentially lose an ability, but it basically changes the encounter because some main ability has gone away and a new main ability has taken its place. And it just kind of does that whole like bad guy refusing to die kind of feel to it. So as I said, this is something that is not going to fit into every single campaign, but it's definitely something you can throw in as a way to kind of bring that big bad evil guy of an entire campaign to a whole nother level. And at the same time, like I said, keep it in your back pocket and not necessarily throw it out there right away. Depending on how the fight goes. If you have a bunch of people that are low health and low resource, fighting against, for example, let's say a Death Knight, and the Death Knight takes a knee and jams his sword into the ground, and then pushes himself back up, pulling his sword from the ground and just kind of, swinging it forward. And this wave of necrotic energy comes out, and that's what's going to heal him to full, as you describe it. But that necrotic damage is going to injure everybody as it happens. You don't want to knock 3 people down in the, as you make your way into your second phase of your big bad guy. So my next option for you is a complex trap, and you can find the rules for creating a complex trap in Xanathar's Guide to Everything around page 113. So when you make a complex trap, typically it's something that is lasts for a duration. In this case, the party's not going to spring this trap or be able to find this trap. It's going to be something that just happens as the encounter begins. And it's going to be something that affects the party on initiative count 20 and initiative count 10. And every time they'll start to get used to, okay, at this point in time, something bad's going to happen and we need to be ready to react to it, whether it's having some other resource in the room that they need to maintain or take care of or protect, or having minions spawn or something like that. And we're not talking, super powerful minions, something little that's just there to be in the way or, maybe cause a wizard to have to make a concentration check. Things like that. Obviously, you're going to have layer actions going on. You're going to have legendary actions going on. So having something going on that's not super hard to deal with, but at the same time just causes a little bit more strife in the fight. So I've done the trap thing in one campaign, and it worked out very well. There were lanterns that had to remain lit, and if the last lantern was to get extinguished, the boss would win. And it was something that was very clearly laid out in the the writing up until that point, where they learned about this ritual. If they knew if the last lantern went out, that this monster was its home was darkness. So one of the extra resources they had to kind of balance was maintaining at least one of these 6 lanterns being lit all the time. The trap, however, caused the lantern itself to be obscured. So somebody had to be standing right up on a lantern to ensure that it was lit all the time. All these things worked out really well. It was a very high stress encounter, but again, it was something that I don't think anybody's going to forget anytime soon. So I have a bonus for you guys, and that is pulling off the ultimate double cross. Now, I've not pulled this one off yet, but I hope to someday. The ultimate double cross would be the person that the party has trusted from day one, literally has set them on the path of killing the perceived big bad evil guy, just to come back to collect their reward, to find out that you just cleared the path for this person's ascension to whatever you just eliminated, and they are actually the big bad guy. So for me, I think the greatest reward as a dungeon master doesn't happen at the table as it's happening. It happens a year later, 2 years later, when someone comes up to you and says, hey, do you remember that one fight when, this crazy thing happened, fill in XYZ, and everybody was about to die and the boss came back at full power, or this crazy trap was happening and we just skated by the skin of our teeth. That means that moment resonated with that person for years. And every time that they think about D&D, they're going to have that positive memory in their head where they were against such odds and came out on top. Now, I never write an encounter with the desire to kill someone or the desire to have it be a TPK. I always want my players to come out as the heroes and come out as the winners. However, I also, at the same time, don't just want to say, here's the bad guy and here's your free win. I want those fights to be memorable. I want those fights to be hard, and I want to tax people's strengths. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below about what things you've tried to kind of ramp up your big bad evil guys, or things that you'll try going forward. Thanks for watching. We appreciate all the support, and we'll see you next week.